Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're joining us from around the world. Welcome to Web3 Warriors, episode 38, featuring Kane Mayfield and Porkchop. How you doing this morning, Kane? Porkchop?
Another day in paradise.
Awesome.
Very good.
Just making a real hoot.
Real good, real good. Yeah, we had to sort out some AV here. But welcome to episode 38 of Web3 Warriors. I am David Krome, your host. I go by Krome in the metaverse, and I'm really excited for our episode today. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin NFTs. Some people don't even know that's a thing, so we're going to learn a few things today. I have a lot to learn about Bitcoin NFTs as well, so I'm looking forward to the conversation. And Kane Mayfield and Porkchop, I think, are the best people we can have for this conversation, at least in my sphere. I'm sure there are others as well who could give us some more insight. But before we throw to Kane and Porkchop, I'm just going to give a little bit of intro on my thoughts around, basically different blockchains having, different utilities, different communities related to them. And personally, I'm much more aware of the communities on Ethereum, Solana, and Tezos. They're very somewhat different. I really love the art over on Tezos. I think that especially last year when the Ethereum gas prices were astronomical, Tezos was a really awesome opportunity for people who just could not afford to really play in Ethereum. And, Solana wasn't even around at that time really when things were really blowing up. So I picked up a lot of art at that point, and I've continued to collect Tezos art because it's just really cool and it's a nice way to support artists. A lot of them are out of Brazil or India, places where, again, maybe the currency exchange helps them as well. And the gas fees, avoiding gas fees is really good. Looking at Solana, I think that there's a lot of interesting opportunities there, but a lot of criticism around, how decentralized and immutable ultimately their NFTs are really going to be, and that blockchain, but I think if it survives, it's likely on a similar trajectory to Ethereum, would be my perspective. And we haven't talked to too many creators on the Solana blockchain yet either, but we'll be getting more of those in here as well. But I'm definitely more partial to Ethereum. It's where I've been collecting most of my NFTs, and where I think the metaverse conversation has also been really taking off, So for that reason, I've been looking at those three, and I've been a little bit out of the loop on Bitcoin, to be honest. Basically my understanding of how it works, there is a marketplace called Counterparty, and there are different NFTs. I think the Pepes that a lot of people are familiar with, fake rares, Pepes have been blowing up, especially on Bitcoin, although they are on Ethereum and other blockchains as well. But that seems to be kind of where the culture is at in Bitcoin, and maybe part of the reason why I'm a little bit out of the loop. So I'm hoping to learn a lot. Hopefully the listeners here will gain a lot from what we're discussing. And without any further ado, maybe before we get into the specific Bitcoin NFTs that Kane and Porkchop have created, maybe we'll get a little bit of background on, what brings them to Web3, what brings them to the blockchain, and then we'll look specifically at some of the amazing NFT art that they've built actually and minted on the Bitcoin blockchain. So Kane, I know that you come from an artist background. You're a awesome rapper, NYC rapper. You've got your experience out, basically being a creative in the real world, putting on shows, all that fun stuff. And how is that kind of translated now into Web3 and NFTs? And maybe you could give us a little bit of background, how did you get to Web3 and the blockchain?
Well,
welcome.
Just for geographical clarity, thank you, by the way. Just for DM friends, salutations, and all the things.
Yeah. What up?
For geographical clarity, my music career started in Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore, nice. All right.
I was signed to a Baltimore record label. I was trained by a dude from Murphy Homes. I'm a bunch of Baltimore MCs and anything else. So, I did that since 2008. We were a label, and we put out a bunch of projects. In fact, a lot of the music that I've been minting comes from that time. Welcome to the Audience was Reaganomics. Handprints was my album, Return of Rap. Legendary Ancestors was from the Rhymes by Kane Thievery Corporation edition, and just, a lot of that stuff. So my music career was, I lovingly refer to myself as a failed struggle rapper.
Failed struggle rapper.
My friends chuckle at that.
There's no failing, right? You just struggle forward.
That's the difference, right? My rap people, they understand what I'm saying. It's not it's not self-deprecating. It's really hard to be a struggle rapper. The world I come from is that it's different rules. And especially the section of it that I resided in, honesty of your circumstances. It's wrong to do anything other than that. Like fronting is just corny. So to pretend that I was bigger than I was or more popping or anything like that, it's just not in my DNA. And it's hard to do what I did. You know, I mean, my career is as real as it can, is as obscure as it can get, but still being real, or as prominent as it can get, you know, for the imaginary people. I mean, I'm right on the cusp. But there's probably somewhere around 3,000 to 5,000 people like me, where we're right there. And, you know, some of us pop, and then you know about us on more of a national scale, and some of us fade off. And, you know, it was starting to go in 2014, 15. And that's when, you know, I lost both my parents. I didn't want to rap really no more. And my album was still being made. I finished my album, put it out. We did some back-to-back. In fact, that logo in the back, that's the painting I showed you guys earlier with all the signatures on it from my last show. And it was really dope, and I was really proud of it, and I still am. The blockchain stuff happened in the fall to winter of 2020. And you know, how I got in isn't how most people probably going to get in. I was onboarded by OG Rare Skrilla, who I'd known as DJ J Skrilla from Interloop Records from DC. You know, me and him been on tour together. We had a lot of fun. Nice guy, did records together. And I'm not a do records person. Like I'm a difficult person to get on a song sometimes because I don't like stuff and I'm picky and choosy. And you know, one person made all my beats. So I really love Skrilla's production. So to do records with him was really fun because I loved his production. So when he was telling me about, it was maybe 8-9 months before or something like that, maybe even a year before, I went looking for a song we did together that was on SoundCloud called the On the Reels remix with XO and K Beta. And I always loved my verse on it. And I'm not a big, you know, I'm not a guy that's gonna sit around jacking off to my verse, but I love that verse. I thought it did a really good job. And that's what became my first Bitcoin piece, May Fakefield, but it was on SoundCloud. I couldn't find it. And I'm like, come on, man. I know it's not a sample clearance issue. It's SoundCloud. People got freestyles up. So I reach out to Skrilla, and this is maybe 2019, 18, something like that. And I'm like, yo, what's up with the on? Like, oh, yeah, dog. I put it in this is what it sounds, right? I put it in a painting. And I'm like, you put the song in a paint. So I'm thinking like the old school greeting cards with the little box that plays the.
Yeah, it makes when you open it, plays the sound.
So I'm like, that's a weird flex. Okay, you know, you're a strange guy. So you put the song in a weird painting greeting card. Why is it on SoundCloud? Oh, it is. It's just you know, it's going to be unlocked with the digital assets of the currencies. And I was like, yeah, you're saying a lot of words. I don't understand them. I'm taking them as disrespect, right? And you're a friend of mine. I don't know why you disrespect me. But so you're saying the song, hey, I don't care. Just email it to me. That's all I care about. I just want to hear the record. I don't care about anything else. Just email it to me. And you're selling this painting? Yeah. Am I going to get paid? No. All right, cool. That's fine. So, all right, that's enough for me. So that was all I knew. And then when he called me about doing his async project, and he's like, you know, I got this thing. We're going to do it. We're going to rap about Bitcoin. And I said, I don't know anything about Bitcoin. So, and he said, no, I think it'd be really good. And I said, look, let's have a real conversation. You're my friend. I'm cold. I'm ice cold. People like me can't even afford to be warm. And from, you know, Porkchop, my friends, they've heard this spiel 1,000 times, right? I don't like how he's standing like a police officer right now with his arms folded. It makes me very uncomfortable. All right, Don Jackson.
Porkchop's chilling. It's in his federal agent pose over here.
Let me tell you something. Porkchop has become one of my favorite people because he gets how crazy I am. Anyway, so I said I'm cold. You know, we can't be warm. Like I can't even look like slightly not cracking active. Otherwise, people like me fall all the way to the bottom. You got to stay busy and working and always doing something and faking for the internet so people think you're more popping than you are so they give you opportunity. I hadn't done anything in a couple of years. So I'm like, bro, no one's checking for me. I don't know what you heard, but no one's checking for me. You probably want to get somebody else. And he goes, nah, you. And I'm like, I don't know anything about Bitcoin. So he gives me this long list of words to go Google. And it's really silly. I'm like, he gives me slang, right? The slang we all use now every day. But you got to remember, when you first see it, especially when it's given to you in a list, it looks ridiculous.
I can imagine that. So what were a few of the slang words? What were a few of them?
Fucking FUD. FUD. Like Elmer FUD. People
F-U-D.
say FUD.
F-U-D.
Really?
Yeah, we say FUD on the show here a lot. We address the FUD.
I don't it's that. So I'm like, no way, that's not real. Not at all. And just like wrecked and all the stuff we say, a rug pull and silliness. I'm like, this is a whole world, apparently. So I'll clean it up for the sake of time and cleanliness. I equated Bitcoin and the blockchain to people who self stimulate with their feet. Hold on, I'm going somewhere. So apparently there is a percentage of people I know who gratify themselves with their feet, metaphorically. But I don't know who they are. No one wears a blue carnation or a daffodil or a thing in their PTR. So I gotta go find it. So I picked the probable candidates. Like, hey man, do you enjoy yourself with your feet? It's like, what? No, that sounds crazy. You're gonna get in trouble and you're gonna hurt yourself. I go, oh no problem. Tell your mama said hi. What else? And I go, hey man, do you relaxify yourself with your feet? And they go, man, I've been relaxifying with my feet since 2014. What's up, man? Yeah. You hitting it down with the feet. So what you doing? You going Indian styles or what? And I'm like, whoa, first of all, you gotta relax. What? And what is this? I don't care. I made a song. Listen to it. Did I do good by the people who touch themselves with their feet standards? And they go, yeah, this is real good. And I go, okay, cool, because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So after I turned the record in, I wanted to know more about what was going on. So I kind of started hanging around Skrillin. Obviously, he's in Telegram, which is a weird app if you don't use it.
Yeah.
And if you like rap, why don't you go to Discord and hang out with them? And I was like, oh, okay. So he kind of dropped me off at the cipher like it was school and said, go inside and make friends. So I go inside to make friends. And I ended up doing a rap contest. I don't know, bro. Something. And I won 0.025 E. Nice. So I ended up winning $200. And then each shot up. So it was more. And I was like, yo, this magic internet money is lit. This is great. What are we doing? So I had to learn everything on the fly. And fortunately, I had really nice people around to help me. I still didn't believe in anything because failed struggle rapper. Why would I believe in anything? Why would anything good happen to me ever?
Yeah.
Where did you get a Fakie shirt? You son of a bitch.
Fakies. Oh, that's nice. Kane, I think your mic might have got a little bit covered or something. You turned a little just at the end there, went a little.
Oh, sorry. No, because it got a nice shirt on it.
Okay.
NFT
yeah, I just noticed that too. I thought it was Yankees, but it says Fakies.
NYC, and it's what is it? What's that say? What number of 24?
Do they make those in fat people sizes?
There's only one. There's only 24 of them. I got
they
10.
definitely make them in fat people sizes. I'm fine. I don't care no more. I'm gonna tell school that I'm gonna sue them for body shaming. Anyway, so I didn't believe in nothing, so I started minting my work, but old songs, stuff that I thought never got its due, and I don't know how to draw, so I was just like going to Fiverr and being super corny and trying, my first few pieces is me begging my graphic designer friend and, hey, can you help me with this? And I don't know what I'm doing. And, I was so unsure of all of it.
And then enter GAN technology.
That came later.
Yeah.
GANs and glitch art kind of came at the same time when I was at this crossroads of identity crisis. In fact, there's a piece called The World We Live In. That's the last joint that I made that was by myself with no help.
And that's on
And
Ethereum?
then,
Oh, there it is, yeah.
yeah. And then I started
That's nice, actually, with the fist floating there. That's cool.
a little bit of fiber. So,
A little bit of fiber, eh?
a
Not
little
all
bit of
Kane.
fiber. I had to put the video behind the logo. That's what I wanted. I want the video
I
behind the
got you.
logo.
I got you.
And everything else is crappy, window, cheesy. I put a lot of lightning back then. It was a lot of lightning.
0.5
smoke.
ETH, though. Not playing around.
Oh, now? Yeah, now it is. Yeah, now. Yeah, now I'm fancy. Now,
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
simple.
Now it's like one of the originals.
Like, important.
2021 original. All right, well, we'll dive into a little bit more of your NFTs. And GAN, again, it's General Adversarial Network, right?
It's a generative adversarial neural network.
Neural
GAN
network.
Right. Together. And just to be clear, what a GAN is two computers, right? One
Right.
draws, the other critiques. So imagine me and Porkchop are those computers. If you say, I want a bird with wings made of fire flying over Brooklyn, Porkchop says, dude, I can draw that. And I go, word? Let me see it. So he'll draw it and he'll show it to me. And I'll go, nah, it's bullshit. Do it again. Don't show that to him. He'll think we're idiots. So he'll draw it again and he'll show it to me. And I'll go, nah, still Trinity Dash. You can do better than that. So he'll draw it again. He'll show it to me and I'll go, yeah, that's fine. Show it to him. That's one. All this happens in a millisecond, but that's one. And it'll make as many of those as you want. So my work is sometimes comprised of, tens or hundreds or of thousands of these. And then the last one was clearly in the seven figures. I didn't stop the count, but it was certainly in seven figures.
And that's the Reaganomics one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's looking epic. You got Bernie Madoff in there. You got all kinds of politicians and crooks and lots of messaging going on in that one for sure. Yeah, so yeah, GAN technology for what you were just describing, right? People who maybe aren't in the graphic designing kind of space, but you've got other kind of content, audio content maybe, and you want to add that visual. AI is coming through with a solution for that, and not having to contract people on Fiverr and be able to just kind of plug away. It's still time consuming though, and it's still a skill. It's not automatic.
Chisel and Robness. Without Chizo and Robness, which those two, they kind of came through for me within a span of a very short amount of time, I don't even know if I'd still be here. Robness gave me Photomosh. He didn't give it to me, but he told me about it. And that's, right. That's big. And I learned how to glitch, and I was so enamored with glitching. And then I went a little glitch crazy, and I had a lot of fun. And then I still need a base picture though. And then Chizo showed me how to do GANs. And that's why my first GAN is called Nightmare Chizo, nice. to pay respect to him. And I gave him one for free, and it was really, really fun. But yeah, man, that's the world that I live in now. It's just glitch GANs. And I was trying to ask Robness and Chizo and Skrilla, there ought to be a better name for what I do. Glitch GAN doesn't have the same.
I think you get to create the name. I don't know how many people are doing what you're doing, You just got to set the trends, We set the trends. That's what's up. All right, let me jump over to Porkchop quick, and then we'll keep diving into these different NFTs and different stuff we're building. Porkchop, I'd love to get a little bit of your background. What brought you to Bitcoin and NFTs and Web3 more broadly. I feel like you had a little bit of the history in the Bitcoin from pre-NFT time, right? What's your background? What brings you into Web3 and Bitcoin NFTs, man? How's it going?
Well, it's going good. How are you?
Good.
So yeah, I guess basically, crypto, I've, heard of it since around 2009 and, been listening, paying attention. And then my brother's an artist, and he said, you need to do this. And I kind of, he busted my balls about it. I busted his back a few times, and it went on for about 2 or 3 months. And then I came over and hung out with him in Clubhouse for a little bit with some friends. And I started to, be in the telegrams and get involved. And And yeah, it just kind of led on from there. A couple of our friends were, Bitcoin maxi people or whatever you want to call them. And they, talk shit. Maybe one of them would talk shit or something on JPEGs or NFTs or something like that. I'm a photographer as a background, fashion and portrait photographer. And
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I kind of looked at that, in an offensive manner, because as a photographer, I've been selling JPEGs since 2002.
Right.
So, that didn't make any sense to me. And then the market started to tank. Everything started to go down. And all of a sudden, this dude went and jumped to like the first NFT that was a DeFi NFT. It was a chicken farm on Avalanche. And I was like, oh, this is some funny shit. NFTs are dumb and JPEGs are stupid, but you're going to run to the fucking chicken. It costs like $2. So you can feed it some grain and you can make it lay eggs, and then you can put those eggs on Avalanche and stake it, and then you can take your earnings and put it into Time Wonderland. Right? And I was like, all right. And I just kind of sat back and laughed.
That's
I was
the
like,
real D-Gen-ish right there.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking troll you motherfuckers. So I grabbed a couple chickens from the chicken farm and I cut them up and I made a body out of a nugget of weed and put a spliff in Pepe's mouth and turned him into a Bitcoin maxi chicken and put him on an Avalanche coin. It's called Dank Cock Pepe, and it's a dank rare.
You have that linked in your Twitter?
Yeah, it's a part of, if you click on that link on Twitter where it says dankset.io by Porkchop,
yeah,
it'll pull up the mints I've done.
Nice.
And the chicken basically was my first meme as a pork chop, and I kind of went, all right, I kind of like this, and then all that kind of went down. I did a sub asset for it. And, it was the Bitcoin maxi chicken got lost in DeFi and then found its way back home to Bitcoin. And, it's spelled dank cock COQ, because that's what they used to tell each other. They were like, how big's your cock? And they lay eggs. They're freaking chickens. You know what I mean? They're just really confused people. So it was real easy to mess with. And then Time Wonderland rug pull happened, right? And I was damn, look at this shit. So I went right away and did like a painting style piece called Pepe in Time. And that was based on, like a Alice in Wonderland. And I took imposter Pepes, the ones that were saying, you got to come over here and check this out. This is great. So those are my imposter Pepes. And then Alice is Wagme. And she's got her little bag of Bitcoin, and she's walking to the door that the lady's pointing her through, that's leading off the edge of a cliff. And you got the Mad Hatter running towards you, and that's Sifu. I took his face and wrapped it onto the Mad Hatter and pepified him. And he's got his old aliases of what he was before he was Sifu when he did the other rug pulls. So it kind of exposes him and all that stuff. It was a fun one to do, and I started to really enjoy it. So it just continued on from there, and I just kept making my timestamps that were relevant to a situation and memed it.
So timestamps relevant. Way. All right. So we got to get into, I need the description. All right. How do these actually work? All right. I'm looking at your dank set collection. Very cool. The animations on these are fire, especially that Pepe in Time. I like the animated one with the like stars falling from the sky and creating fire in the back. That's next level, man.
Yeah.
Really, really cool artwork. But so it sounds like you're trying to make them kind of timely. I see this one. So the first one you did was January 2022. Very cool. Yeah. So why Bitcoin, first of all? And then I want to get like the actual mechanics of how Bitcoin NFTs work compared to kind of Ethereum, Solana, and Tezos, which are all kind of smart contract, fairly straightforward functionality, right? But yeah, why did you decide to go with Bitcoin for these?
Well, it's kind of like Kane. It's where I was dropped off. And when I got in there, the community and the way that the I don't even want to say adolescent behavior, but the
Mm-hmm.
way that the way that it's done in the Telegram and violence first when people come in trying to screw around,
Facts.
that kind of attitude set really well with me, and I started to really enjoy the people, and I enjoyed the process. And as a photographer, you know, you have an idea, you have to go accomplish it visually and make it something physical you can look at. And that's kind of the same thing with Bitcoin for me is, you know, you base your idea off your foundation, which is your timestamp for that relevant moment.
Right.
And then you go to the blockchain with your spray paint can and you tag that and you put your art on it, and no one will ever tag over it. It ain't going nowhere, and it's a relevant timestamp that makes sense. Then it fits better, and then you put all the little Easter eggs and the Pepe bits and the Bitcoin and everything that happens within the crypto arena, and you have crypto art, not NFTs, because NFTs were created on a 721 token connected to a customizable smart contract. We don't have that over on Bitcoin.
Right. So
Our
even though
smart
I'm calling
contract is
them
Counterparty.
even though I'm calling them Bitcoin NFTs, they're not technically non-fungible tokens in the traditional sense. So you're saying
Skrilla
crypto art,
says they're SFTs, you know, semi-fungible tokens.
semi-fungible.
Really,
Okay. So
yeah.
what are the mechanics behind it? How do these Bitcoin tokens, crypto art, work on the blockchain? What's the connection?
Well, like Bitcoin layer 1, Counterparty is a smart contract that is layered on top of Counterparty, timed with the blocks. XCP is the token for Counterparty, which is backed by Bitcoin, and it's deflationary. You burn a half an XCP to create a token. That token is minted onto the block. Then you have your artwork, and you store that on Arweave and connect it to your token with a JSON. That is the basic manner of the process.
Nice. So getting it from XCP or from Cross-Party, which I always get confused because their website is xchain.io, but it's called Counterparty, right?
So check it out. Bitcoin Counterparty is layer on top. That's a smart contract.
Yeah.
Xchain is the ledger. So it shows you all the transactions that went through the block.
It's a layer 1.
Yeah.
And that's the part about it that makes it good. So if you asked me last year or like earlier this year, like before I did it, I would say that, you know, there's no smart contracts on Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
But technically speaking, there's one smart contract on Counterparty. Everyone's using the same one. So that's why certain things like royalties, there's no royalties on Counterparty. There was never royalties on Counterparty.
Right.
They predate the concept. That came along later with Super Rare. Right. So that's why you'll notice a lot of the older guys who they come from Counterparty. They don't, you know, the royalty is the artist hodling some of the original pieces so they can sell later at a higher market value. And that's the logic behind it. But the best way that I look at it is we're all running around the 5 boroughs, right? I'm a New York person, so everything's New York. ETH and Tez and Solana, you know, all these different ones, right? We're Cardano. We're running around all the Polygon. We're doing all these different chains. So 5 boroughs. We're in the city. Counterparty's like Albany. When you want to get your license done or you want to do something with your records, where do you got to mail it to? Albany. You can't love apples and hate apple trees. Everything comes from Bitcoin. Most of the things we think about, art and trading and a lot of that stuff, those are passed down from Counterparty. Now, they've changed quite a bit, but still Counterparty was the governing culture.
So that's how long has Counterparty been around for then?
2014.
2014? Right? Dang.
Yeah.
And so it was a crypto art concept. So clarifying, Counterparty essentially runs their own platform with their own layer 1, but it's tiered and pegged to Bitcoin.
Correct.
Right? Okay. And so when you're purchasing...
You destroy a Bitcoin to create XCP.
You had to destroy 2,100, I believe, is the number of Bitcoin that was destroyed at the time to create XCP.
Wow.
Before XCP was backed, I believe, by the US dollar, you can see it in the, if you go into XChain, you click on the little logo to bring you to the home, or not even have to do that. You just go to XChain and click on network data. Click on data and you go to broadcasts.
Okay.
If you go to broadcasts, you're going to see basically everything that happens on XChain kind of gets shown up here. And if you go to the very last page, you're going to see 9 years ago, CoinDesk BPI USD.
Wow.
And that was the very first wallet and the very first transaction made on Counterparty.
Wow. That's
And
some
you go
history
back
right
another
there.
page,
I think I'm
and
gonna do
you'll
something.
see the first thing done on Counterparty, I believe, was it was a Super Bowl bet, if I'm not mistaken. And it was kind of like a little betting platform.
That's wild. So Counterparty predates all of the NFT buzz. It even predates Ethereum, essentially, I guess, then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. So crypto art on Bitcoin. Now, the connection from you go to Counterparty, you find the piece. First of all, how does Counterparty connect to Fake Rares, I guess? And it's still using Counterparty? Do Fake Rare use Counterparty?
Everyone over there uses Counterparty.
Yeah, so all
Rare
the Bitcoin
Pepes,
crypto art, it's all using Counterparty.
anchors, all of it. And it's I know for people who don't interact frequently in that community, it can seem two things. It can seem small, it can seem obscure, and it can seem like, because of how they are, their culture. I sound like Jane Goodall, right? It's because of how they are. They there's not a lot of chest beating going on over there. It's not cool to be that way. They're not going to stand up and, you need to bow down to the. That's for suckers. They know what they know, and they're over there.
They're not trying to
And
spread FOMO and.
The most helpful people I've met, the most generous people I've met, the most understanding as far as the onboarding process. And I'll give you a good example. When I did my first dispenser, or I tried to do my first exchange or something like that, I messed it up. I did it wrong. I chose the wrong the wrong FAF token. I messed up. I did the first one. The first one was taken out, so I chose the wrong one. And someone saw it and said, opportunity, boop, and took it. The chat saw it because they watch. They're watchers. They see everything.
Right.
There's no, you're not sneaking up on nobody over there. No one's dumb. Like that, the paywall, the intellectual paywall over there is higher because there's more steps you have to go through to create, to move around and navigate. So no one's dumb. There's no dumb people over there. There's no stupid. We're all idiots sometimes, but there's no stupid people over there at all. And they said, hey, yo, I know that was your wallet, right? Yeah, I just did. Yeah, come on, man. You know he doesn't know what he's doing. Kane's new. Whoa, I mean, and they wrecked him in the chat. I don't know nothing about this. I wasn't even there. I'm not even looking. I don't check Telegram once a week at that point. Yeah. And then I talked to Skrilla. He's like, hey, man, you ever get your wallet straightened out? Straighten what out? Yeah, it's a whole thing in the chat, man. Go log on, check your DMs. I go check my DMs, like 5 DMs. Like, yo, man, you good? You straight? You okay? You mean to do that? Da-da-da-da-da. That guy's going to return your assets to you. Just give him his crypto back. And that's what happened. Son gave me back my joint. I gave him back his crypto. I threw him a little something extra as a tip. But nowhere else can I really definitively say that A, people are watching, B, people are holding you accountable, because your morale, your standing is everything. And we don't like to use words like social credit. It sounds like communist China or whatever, but your rep matters. Who you are matters. Who people perceive you as matters. And remember, a lot of stuff over there is like trading. Those guys have been doing this before there was money. Before anyone was getting rich doing any of this stuff, They were doing it for the keks,
Right.
for the love, for the memes. So before money, there was a code of honor among faith, among the Pepe community.
Right.
And whether it was Pepe or just Bitcoin, there was just, come on, man, stop. Before the ICOs, they were there. Like think about the concept of the ICO era.
Before the crazy shitcoin era. It's wild.
Before everything.
Yeah.
Before everything.
So crypto art predates it all.
Their culture reigns supreme. And you can still see a lot of it in certain places. And I would certainly never credit them for everything that happens on Tezos, but it's there. The fingerprint's there. Best art on Tezos. No one over at Tezos is worried about royalties, because if you clip the artist for their royalties, they would lynch you in the street on Tezos.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. That's why I was on Tezos.
Yeah. No, I love the
When
Tezos community.
Like, where do I go? He's like, he does ETH. He's a super rare guy. He's a few other big curated platforms. He was also on Tez. So I followed him to Tez. I just followed him wherever he was at. And that Bitcoin culture is a little bit more substantial. So you create your token. You build an NFT there the way you build a car. You make the frame, which is the name of your asset and how many. You can leave it locked or unlocked. You can leave it divisible or indivisible, but you create your frame. This is what the thing's going to be. Then you fill it with your whatever you're making, like a pie.
Right, and that's the dispenser, right?
This is before dispenser.
Oh,
this is creating the actual asset.
Got you.
A lot of platforms do this part for you, so you never have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to OpenSea or Rarible, and you go to create, you give it a name, you upload your artwork, and it all happens the same time. With them, it's steps. So first you create your name, because you can't have the same name.
Right.
If Porkchop bought Kane Mayfield before me, I could never have Kane Mayfield.
Right.
I can have Kane Mayfield 1. I can have Kane Mayfield with a 3 instead of an E. I can have something else.
Kane underscore Mayfield.
You could. You just have to get a hold of my wallet.
Huh?
You just have to get a hold of my wallet.
Oh. That's the way that works. So you get your asset, you make your frame, then you fill it with your art or whatever it is you're doing, pictures of your feet, baseball scores, whatever it is you're choosing to immortalize. Then you create your JSON file, and that's how it becomes what you see. But I freeze my metadata. I take the freezing of my metadata very seriously. I'll go back and forth with Porkchop. And that's the stuff that I hate to say it this way. We do a lot of superfluous talk in this space, like, nonsense. Fluffy ferrets and squishy squids and just nonsense. I'd rather go back and forth with my friend arguing about the most accurate ways to freeze metadata. When he's like, you used to use Imager, right? What was it?
And CoinDaddy. Yeah.
Yeah, and CoinDaddy. But CoinDaddy was the mechanism. But Imager, and I call it Imager because it just sounds better. I use Arweave. I always use Arweave. Like when Rad showed me, it was using CoinDaddy and Arweave. So I would go to Arweave, spend my R drive tokens, upload my stuff, get my links, put those into CoinDaddy. I built my asset, but I know it's built right. There's no AWS with anything over there. Everything is done right. So if it all goes down tomorrow, and that's why sometimes I get questioned, because I mint everywhere. I mint on Near, I mint on Tez, I mint on ETH, I mint a lot of places. And they go, well, why'd you put it on Bitcoin? And I take it as a compliment. They like the art. And I put it in a difficult place for them to easily access. And I say, well, listen, some of the stuff we're using is Google. Cool. Some of the stuff we're using is Ask Jeeves. I'm not smart enough to differentiate. So since I don't know, I know that'll still be here because there's a way better chance of OpenSea failing than Arweave failing.
Mm.
And that may sound crazy, but you got to think about it. OpenSea is just they make their money through the platform. Arweave is data. No matter what you're doing, where
data.
you use, a lot of people use Arweave. Same as Pinata, same as IPFS.
Right.
So that has a higher probability of staying power than a platform or even a blockchain.
And so what about Counterparty as a platform? Is there a risk where if for some reason, even though Counterparty, I guess, has been around longer than OpenSea, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere, but theoretically, if Counterparty were to fold or something, would that crush the liquidity of the Bitcoin crypto art market?
I will say it this way, and I don't think anyone would be mad at me saying it this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, on one hand, right, you got people over here who are my friends, and I like them. They were onboarded semi-recently, which for me is the last 2-3 years.
Hmm.
You were onboarded then, or earlier, or later rather, which like nowadays you got people on Twitter Spaces that are experts who were onboarded 3 months ago by a guy who was onboarded 5 months ago, by a guy who was onboarded 6 months ago. Like, your big homie still don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. Point is, you got those people who are onboarded for the purpose, and let's just call a spade, not a ground tilling implement. You're onboarded for money. You're here to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You're here for the ching-cha-ching. You're here for number go up.
You're for the bag.
In lieu of number go up, would you still do this?
Mm.
And the answer for most people, when you weed through the meandering around the barn, is no. I certainly wouldn't do it as extensively. This becomes a every other weekend hobby at best for most people. Well, I got these guys over here who were doing this before the money,
right?
Who are doing this anyway, who would do this anyway. Fake Rare ain't a company. Fake Rare don't make money. Hold on, let me be clear. Fake Rare has generated millions of dollars. That don't go to Skrilla. That don't go to Annie. That don't go to none of them. They don't make money. They're not a business. They're a bromanship. I don't even know what to call it. They're a collective. They're a community.
No doubt.
And it transcends number go up. You can't say, well, would they do it for free? They're doing it for free. They would continue to do it. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure spirits would be down, a lot more profanity in the chat, but it would still be going because Counterparty was around before any of that. And remember, these are Bitcoin people amusing themselves in their spare time.
No doubt.
Now, it got more serious, and there's more seriousness in some of the art. You go back on Counterparty 5, 6 years, 7 years, some of the art's cool, but you look at somebody like Pepinardo, I'm a sham compared to what he makes.
No doubt.
You look at some of the stuff that these people make, it's incredible is an understatement. Really amazingly detailed. The memetics are off the charts, and references to insult jokes, and like it's lyrical. They do with pictures what good rappers do with lyrics.
So what if we were to say Bitcoiners do it for the memes and Ethereum does it for the moon? Would that be accurate?
No. No one here, I don't think anyone's allergic to money.
Right.
I'm also blockchain agnostic, platform agnostic, quite to the chagrin of everyone whose community I'm in.
Right.
Near people want me to be neared up. Tezos people want me to be not only Tez, but they want me to be a Tez person. But I'm an everywhere person.
Banging that Tez drum.
I like ETH. ETH has cool toys. When I want to do fun stuff, token gate this, do all the behind the back Rucker Park stuff, ETH. It's what it is. When I'm doing something that I think is super prominent or maybe super prominent, or I'm doing a fake rare, or I'm doing something like that, like handprints. Handprints ain't a fake, but handprints is counterparty, because I knew what I had, and I said I want this to be great. But I can also move blockchain to blockchain, so it doesn't matter where it starts. It matters, not where you're from, it's where you at.
No doubt. What do you think, Porkchop, as far as that difference?
That's kind of the point of Counterparty, is you got these smart contracts and stuff like that that's going on in Ethereum, but like you said, reputation is everything. Everyone knows each other. We're all over here doing it for the fun. Reality is that's what it is, and that's what it's always been, and it's always been winter over here. So it's not something no one's used to, and when you look at the drop off of how many things have fallen off OpenSea, and there's less people, and all the the drop in their revenue, we're still doing the same thing. It's down a little bit from the bull, but it's still doing the thing. People still collect, people still like it for what it is, for its purpose. And the fun of it is what it is. And you are the smart contract. What you say in the description of your piece, if you say you're going to do this or you're going to do that, God damn it, you better fucking do it.
No doubt.
Because people are going to be asking.
Yeah.
So it's, and Ethereum, they have the toys, they have all the stuff, and a contract does it for you, but you can just P2P it to someone else and kind of avoid a contract, any sort of negotiation in it.
Yeah.
It gets dirtier, there's less love there. And
I would add one thing. There's one factual correction for the flyer of today's program. I can't speak for my good buddy here because I still call him to help me with shit, but I am not an expert.
Okay.
I am the ultimate end user, which means I make liberal use of whatever technology is on the ground, but I make mistakes all the time. If you look at Reaganomics, it says total that exist are 81. And then you look at destructions, how many have been destroyed? That's also 81. Because when I was trying to lock the collection from my phone, I accidentally created another 81.
Oh, wow.
So I had to destroy them, which is better than burn, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So looking at the fact that ultimately once you make the purchase on, Fake Rare or through Counterparty, it lands in your free wallet, right? Which is a Bitcoin wallet that also has the ability to show the crypto art that you've purchased on Counterparty.
And play the music.
And it plays music. You can play any audio, right? Audio, video.
It's a Counterparty wallet that stores Bitcoin as if it were a hot wallet. It also stores XCP and any XCP asset. That's it.
Gotcha.
No more, no less.
So the crypto art are XCP assets living in your free
Correct.
wallet. And the free wallet is also a wallet for Bitcoin. So that's how they're...
Right.
Okay.
So say everything on Bitcoin's, rarity and, finite, things like that. You look at XCP, it's a locked asset. It's deflationary because we destroy it every time we make an art piece or a sub asset.
Correct.
In time, this is going to deflate. And as it ends, these are going to be legacy pieces. You have to, see that for what it is. XCP is a legacy chain, or it's a legacy contract, a legacy ledger. Mm-hmm. Like everything that's on there is the first. So as time goes on, maybe a new token's created. I don't know. I might not even be alive when it happens. But the reality is that's what's going to happen. There's a set path.
No doubt. And how about for the liquidity of the market? Like when turning around and kind of selling, how do you think it compares to the other markets, whether it's Ethereum, Tezos, Solana? Like, is it just as easy to sell, or is it more of a hodler's market?
Heat don't have a home. You hot, it's gone. Heat don't have a home.
No doubt.
Whether it's ETH, Tez, you're trading in Ganipkanops, whatever you think. Heat don't have a home, yo. So when I say that, I mean this. I had May Fake Fields, my Genesis, right? Up for a while and nobody was biting. And various reasons. Mostly I wasn't around. I would have viewed me as a one and done. Yeah, I'm Skrilla's friend, but what does that mean? So the card was okay. I always thought the artwork on that was low effort. I was never really proud of my work with that because I was doing better stuff on Tez. And that one just sat. I needed some money. I had a piece, the PWA, the Pepe's with Attitude. Trades for about a G, market value about a G, 11, 1200. I put it up for 9 just so it would go faster. It was gone within not even a day. Here's the thing.
Wow.
There's no alerts. Here's how you test your heat for real. On ETH, again, there's toys, there's bells and whistles. With them, someone got to be looking for it or see it.
Right.
That's how you know something's scorching. Someone was looking for that. They saw my prices and let us handle and took off my hand immediately. And I was like, God damn, did I lowball it?
You got that liquidity right quick.
It went so fast, I felt bad.
That's what happens when you sell an NFT quick. You're like, oh shit, what did I do? I should have put it at double the price.
When you sell too quick, you feel
Right?
some type of way.
Yeah.
That was a rare Pepe, man. PWA Skrilla. That's
from my original rare Skrilla starter kit.
No doubt. And you got some liquidity when you needed it, right? That's what's up. So it is still, like you say, heat don't have a home. So as long as it's hot. And so why the Pepes then? I got to ask you. I'll get both your responses on this. Where, do you see a future where there are non-Pepe artwork doing well on Counterparty, or is it always going to be for the memes? We'll go to Porkchop first and then Kane. What do you think, Porkchop? Why the Pepes, and is it going to be like this forever?
Yeah, I believe it will.
Yeah.
Pepe's open source memetic technology. I've heard this said before. And it is. It is exactly that.
Open source memetic technology. All right. So you would say it's like the Dogecoin of memes?
Uh-huh. Did you just say Dogecoin?
Kind of like the Jesus. Dogecoin of memes.
Oh man, I'm just going to ignore that comment and move on past it.
Right.
No, you see the memes, the Pepe's coming over to ETH and the emblem vaults, and then you have the generative projects and all this stuff. People are just now seeing it. A lot of people don't even know it's there, and I don't think that's something that shows a lack of staying power. The memes are you're just minting frogs on the Bitcoin blockchain. It's fun. It's a good time. It's not misconstrued with, secondaries and hurry up and get your royalties on those secondaries on that generative project. That's really where the money comes in, or whatever the case is.
Right.
We have a really great platform to spread the love with Emblem Vault. We also have Pepe.WTF for our drops.
Right.
And you can pay in ETH or you can pay in Bitcoin. So that's a great way to allow everyone to be able to see what's going on. And the more that it happens, like the Alcatraz swim team, the Rare Pepes from before that, you see it happen. So about non-Pepe art on Bitcoin, like Drilling Ape Bus Club, that's non-Pepe, and they're pretty good. The Wojak Way, that's a bunch of all the same artists that do fake rares and everything else. We're all the same artists. We're just jumping around from, you got Back of Card, which is Pepe oriented, but it's Pepe Nardo's new little series he did.
Okay.
Which is really cool, and it's just showing the back of a card because no one's ever really seen one except for She-Wolf's.
No.
Yeah. She-Wolf was really the first person that had a back of a card on her tarot cards.
And is that a
So
scenario where it's an actual separate NFT to be the back of the card, or is it you can actually flip it over on the same art
there,
piece?
no, it's kind of it's interestingly formulated project. So you have like originals or something like that, and then you have rares. So the OG ones basically. So if you're going to try to mimic like rare Pepe, you have to burn extra fake as fuck tokens. You have to do certain things. They have to be directly, pointed toward that card. So there's three different
That's
columns you
awesome,
can pick
man.
from.
So the memes are leading the way, kind of, and it sounds like doing it for the lulz, doing it for the memes, and it can have financial benefits as well. I do want to give a shout out to BitJammin in the chat. He's got a cool comment here. I'll read it. He's saying that he saw some of the rare Pepe cards in Web 2. So before he had really jumped into blockchain and experienced Web 3. But when he came to Counterparty scene, it was like meeting rock stars, and they were cool to talk to and down to earth. So there you go. It shows that there were people that were looking at the kind of meme culture before even thinking about it from a Bitcoin perspective, right?
The first big marketplace these things were traded in, and I actually like to use the word first, but I'll say one of the first that I know about. eBay. Real cards were being traded on eBay.
Wow.
That's how predates blockchain for this
And so
project.
that would just be with like Reddit, essentially. Like Reddit kind of drove that. Like what else would drive that demand?
4chan.
I mean, even
4chan and Reddit.
Right. 4chan, yeah, of
even
course.
outside of
the deep dark
those
4chan.
well, there's another one that I want to say Robness and Skrilla met on. I forget the name of it.
Shit. I'll tell you right now.
Underground.
The funny thing about having me and him, and we'll go back and forth on like Clubhouse or Telegram, Twitter, wherever we're at, because it's all one big thing and it's the same people.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll say, "It comes over to Counterparty." I say, "Man, stop pipering these people over there." He's like, "Well, Counterparty's great." I say, "Yeah, you and me are weird. We have a weird, we're onboarded weird. We have weird ties. It's a weird, irreplicable situation." However, I do believe that the Counterparty community, the rare Pepe community, the fake rares, danks, it really is what you make of it. And now they're doing music. Shout out to Basement. They're doing music. They're doing really cool stuff.
No doubt.
And I ain't gonna front. Like every time I see a new thing, I get excited and simultaneously worried because I don't have nearly enough XCP. So, if there was ever really a massive run on XCP, ain't a whole lot you can do about it, buddy. It just is what it is. The when you live by your instincts, the jungle's fair. Counterparty's fair, very fair. Now the good news is, and that's the other thing I say when people look at it and they don't think it's very big or very profitable. You're talking about Bitcoin people who've at least been kicking it since 2014, 15. Whatever you think about their financial situation, think again. They're fine. They're good. They're fine. They're okay. I'm not saying anyone's rich, but a bunch of them are rich. I mean, it's just what it is. They're just rich. Skrilla is a hot tub aficionado. Spends his free time calling the hot tub store just to talk. Just talk to guys about you.
Chop it up about hot tubs.
Yeah, he has hot tub alpha crazy. Like he's hot tub alpha crazy. So there's a really good culture there. But as far as you asked about the future of it, or the future of like Pepe's transcend collection. They transcend groups of people. They transcend everybody. No one owns Pepe. Everyone is Pepe. It's it's the ultimate. It is in fact one of the largest memes ever.
Yeah.
And by my stakes, it's probably the oldest collection that's still shaking like that. And when I say shaking like that, they're still active. I was in Cali.
Super active.
Well, I was in Cali talking to some Solano bros. And they were all, yeah, man, you know about the gods? Yeah, it's the best, biggest community, really active. And I was like, what? Let me see. Where do they talk at? And he showed me the little thing, and I was like, oh, that's cute. How long's that been? Well, that's been like a week. I was like, oh. 200 comments. That's a lot of people. He's like, yeah, man. So I pulled out my phone and I said, that's fake rare. 1,500. How long's that been? I don't know, this morning. They're alive.
Right.
They're a thriving, real community where people are not. Put it this way: people ask so many questions, they had to open a separate chat just for questions. Like laboratory assistants. I mean, it's a beautiful culture, and I think you can't really discount something that you know what. You know the best thing. Who has done a better job documenting the times we live in, like South Park and The Simpsons?
Yeah, it's the truth.
When's The Simpsons going off? When The Simpsons go off the air?
I don't even know.
They're still on.
I was thinking, are they done? I don't know.
Still making new episodes.
Yeah. Because
4 generations now of people have been watching this program. That's bananas, right?
No
when
doubt.
You think about it.
No doubt. That's the culture.
So, I'm talking since the Tracy Ullman show in the 80s.
It's wild.
Until 2022, a show has been running, documenting the times we live in, to where people accuse them of predicting the future.
Yeah, they do predict the future. Sometimes.
So where does this go? I don't think you've ever had a meme be the subject in a presidential election before.
It was the president for a little bit there.
But this meme was a part of the presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hillary Clinton showed it. This is all.
Look at this horrible stuff here.
What?
Yeah, it's wild.
So I think that this is it's bigger than art, because I think that it ties into the fabric of who we are as human beings existing on the spinning ball of dirt and water in these times. And somewhere has to exist for people to make sense of the world. And a lot of times that's done best through humor. And the court jester, which I consider Pepe a court jester, not in a silly, goofy way or a clown or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
The jester is the only one who can tell the truth to the king without getting his head chopped off.
Word. Oh, I like that, man. That's powerful.
So Pepe represents a societal jester who, through humor, dark or otherwise, will express truths of the society that we live in. And because it's anonymous, because it's decentralized, because it's everyone and no one and all at the same time, and the immutable ledger keeps it clean. So I'm proud to be, in whatever small way, affiliated with it. It makes me very happy. It's one of the proudest things I get to do. And I'm also happy that I get to contribute something to the culture that, like with Reaganomics, I got retweeted by Rob and Skrilla and Van Doe and Jamie and Carson and Andy, and all the peeps.
Right.
The people who write Porkchop. Well, few quoted Porkchop. So for the people that actually have a hand on the wheel, for those people to look over and kind of give me the thumbs up, that feels really good.
That's what's
for me.
Up. That's what's up. So unapologetically pro Pepe, not going anywhere on Counterparty, likely, for the culture. I can see it definitely. And as I scroll through these ridiculous Pepes that capture all different elements of the culture, from politics to religion to social stuff to cartoons, it's just definitely see what you're talking about as far as kind of capturing the zeitgeist. You mentioned briefly kind of music NFTs as well, and the fact that you can now you can listen to music and that on Counterparty as well. Do you have a preference, coming from your hip hop background, as far as music goes? I've seen you share links to your Emanate. I noticed you got the Reaganomics track on there. Maybe we'll ride out of the podcast with that Reaganomics track at the end. Play it for the people to listen to. Very cool music. But yeah, do you have a preference as far as who's doing music right on the blockchain right now?
It's a little. I never want to. You make a list and you leave people off of it.
Right,
It feels some type of way. Special, I guess. Obviously, Skrilla has been and will continue to. Rad Audio, who I think is doing some of the most innovative stuff. There is a card called KekNWessun, which, for those of you who know who Smith and Wesson is, that's a pretty big deal. Shouts to Ill Bill, who's a legendary rapper in his own right, has a dope ass card. Shout to Sketch, who, for my money, is one of the best crypto rappers. I put a lot of rap on the blockchain, but I don't put very much crypto rap.
No
Sketch puts crypto rap, and I dare say it's better than mine. So,
nice.
Fuck him.
I want to hear more crypto rap, to tell you the truth. Sketch.
He's a friend. No, he's a friend. He's a friend, but he's currently, his race car is a little further ahead than mine. So I got to fishtail him at some point. Beta's out there with some good stuff, and there are some really dope MCs who are doing some cool stuff. Low, Sleazy, and I did some records together recently.
Yeah, those are dope.
DJ
when are they coming out though? They're still yet to be released, aren't they?
Well,
You're gonna mint that?
But remember, I'm someone who, by the time you hear the record, they're a couple years old. I don't think I'll wait that long.
Right.
But just know I'm prepared to wait that long.
All right. I got the teasers, man. I've heard it on Clubhouse a bit.
But I sat on the biggest features of my career for 3 or 4 years. I'm not in a rush.
Okay.
Also, everything has to be done properly, because it's not just the music. Music NFTs or MFTs, whatever you call them. I don't, nomenclature is silly to me. They have to, it's not the music, it's not the art. Both. They have to coexist simultaneously to create a greater thing. The whole is better than the sum of the parts.
Right.
Reaganomics as a song is okay. The artwork, I think, is pretty decent. Together, I think they make something special. Same for Handprint, same for G.I. Joe, same for a lot of the stuff that I make that I'm really proud of. I think it's better than that. So for the people who are doing it right, Joe, by the way, shouts to Vandal, not Viva La Vandal, Rare Vandal, from Dow Records. Been doing the music NFT side for a long time, and there's a lot of good people over on Near that are doing it up. I love Louis and this Fish Brain. There's people I'm cool with them.
Yeah. I'll
say this though, as far as them NFT bars, man, them crypto bars, Sketch is nothing nice. It's not. And I'm just to be clear, in Miami at the Fake Rare Gallery. This is what I judge people on, just so we're not, no one gets confused with the feelings hurt. In Miami at the Fake Rare Gallery, Schubert's inside spinning. Me and Sketch are on the patio out back. I'm drinking. He's fine. And we probably traded 90 bars a piece. Just throwing them in the air for the love.
That's what's up.
Oh, the way me and him used to anyway. The way we would anyway.
Right.
But I heard what the turns of phrase, and I heard what he's doing.
Next level, eh? He's ahead of the curve.
He's not kidding. He's coming to square dance.
Funny. It's no funny, as Ebro would say. That's what's up. What do you think, Porkchop, as far as music NFTs? And I got the KekNWessun up here, which I know you helped build together with the legendary Tech from Smith and Wesson. So what are your thoughts on music on the blockchain more broadly?
I think it's absolutely necessary. Even more so than anything else out there. You know, I see what Kane's doing, and it's great. Low other people that are coming in. Tech just figured it out. He's all excited about it. It's a new avenue to explore for musicians that may have been dormant for a little, just to get out there and see if it's still valid, to see if it's still something that you can do. You know, I've come in contact and lost contact with things I love to do, and look back on it and see if I could do it again, and I just can't. It's just something that's not viable anymore.
No doubt.
So that feeling of being able to do something that you can make viable again, that's
Right.
probably one of the better feelings you can get in your life. You know, so
Yeah, and I think
something that makes you happy.
that's what's up. It's a huge part of the creator economy on the blockchain. You know, I think having that opportunity to take things that you thought, you know, you'd never need to use again or you wouldn't go back to, and actually show it to the world. But it's a whole new kind of slice of the world, right? It's a whole new corner in this space, and you have the opportunity to find new collectors, international community, whether you're looking at the fake rare space or even more broadly in Ethereum, Tezos. No matter where you go, you're going to have the opportunity to basically reach out to a whole new fan base, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to clarify the platform, it was Poloniex Trollbox. That's what
I've never
believe
heard of
Kane
that
was thinking of
platform
with,
before. That's where Skrilla and
yeah, that's where it all started.
Mm.
That's really Rob Ness and Skrilla and all those guys. You know,
What was it again, sorry?
Trollbox. Yeah, Poloniex, it's POLONIEX.
Awesome. I had never heard of that platform before. So there we go. We're getting some real underground alpha, underground history, I should say. Yeah, this is really amazing. I really like the KekNWessun. Did you want to share anything about that story, about how you connected with tech and you know, built the actual NFT itself, or the art, I should say?
Yeah, it's all Kane's fault. You know, he's known Tech for a while now,
Right.
and he had been wanting to help him get in and show him what's up. Tech is an amazing hip hop artist. Grew up, you know, through high school with it. So I knew, but didn't quite know, and then figured it out. And it was, you know, Kane came and asked me if I'd like to do the artwork for him. And I didn't say no. And I said yes pretty quick. And I went and, you know, drew a portrait of him. And that took a couple weeks to get that just right and make him a Pepe, but still make him look like Tech. And have all the different, you know, shades come through in the colors of a person to a Pepe. And I glitched it and found out another side of my brain that I didn't realize was there by doing this process. And it was a great experience for me as an artist to make myself go through that in a piece. It was a lot of fun, and the artwork was fun to do. Tech is great people, super great guy, and Kane's all right. He's fun to work with, and we got it done.
No doubt. No, I gotta say, sitting in that room with Kane and Tech, and I think Money B jumped in there too, and just hearing, like, you know, the hip hop, the culture. That was on the Twitter Spaces, actually. I went and purchased it right after that because it was just too inspiring, man. I was thinking about it because it was the first purchase I've ever made on a Bitcoin NFT or crypto art on Counterparty. I keep wanting to call it Cross Party. But yeah, so I was really inspired by Tech's story, and like you just said, the fact that he was kind of convinced by Kane and like told about like this opportunity here on the blockchain, and then the artwork, yeah, the different colors, the way you threw the little Bitcoins falling in there from the sky, and like it's just really dope. Fire art, fire music, and more importantly, the moment, you know, the fact that it was bringing Tech in, bringing that old school hip hop vibe onto the blockchain. I had to be part of it, so you know, it was the first one I ever actually spent some hard-earned Bitcoin on. And it wasn't easy because I have to say I think of Bitcoin for hodling only. Like I don't ever want to spend it. But yeah, it was a really awesome project. Kane, did you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So I met Tech. I probably have had now more conversations with him, but prior to any of this stuff, if you ask me, hey, I'm in a room with Smith and Wesson, you know them? I would probably say Steele got a better possibility of remembering me. But like I said before, there's 3,500 of me.
Mm.
There's 3,500. And don't get me wrong, I'm not self-deprecating. I'm talented. I'm nice. I'm a good rapper.
Yeah, you got bars.
There's 3,500 nice rappers that are out there that are just still trying to get it together, and they come up in their circle, they'll come across more of me than somebody, way up in the clouds. Because, this duck down, man. I mean, that's who you want to prove yourself to. That's who you want to give you the thumbs up. So in my travels, hanging out at Fader a lot, and people don't notice, but Duck Down's office was inside Fader.
Okay.
So hanging out in Fader, you will see Buckshot, you'll see Drew Hawk, you'll see Sean P come through, you'll see Smith and Wesson, you'll see your heroes. And
Nice.
I've met them all, not all, but I've met a lot of the guys in different circumstances. I met Louisville and Betsy Head Park. I met Sean P outside of Southpaw. I met Steele a couple times. I met Tech maybe once or twice. So my boy Jay, shouts to the good Reverend Doctor, who is actually helping me figure out the name of these damn Decentraland shoes because he's a genius.
Nice.
He actually linked us up and put us together and said, hey, Tech, Tech was interested in doing some NFTs. Why don't you talk to Kane?
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, you probably don't remember me. We met, but, it's one of those things, faces are easier. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it sounds familiar. He saw my logo, though. I remember that. And I'm like, all right, cool, that's what's up, man.
Nice.
So he's like, so what do we do? No rush. Let's just talk. And we talked for months, on and off, here and there. This is the culture. This is the lay of the land. This is this. He came on my show last year, this time.
Wow.
In fact, it was last week. Tech was on my show. Last week, he was on my show this last year. So it's been almost a year of talking and trying to, convey the principles of what I think make this special. And then we finally, it's time, so let's go. And we did it. And the way I felt was I wanted this to go well. And I did work, but I didn't do the work. So I did work. I worked on this project, but I didn't do the work. Tech made the song. Porkchop made the art.
Right.
I'm just a dude with ideas here and there, running my yak. So the artwork was done, I think, beautifully, and it looks really good. And Porkchop did it, and he's, hey, man, this is cool. If it's not cool, let me know. And I'm like, it's good.
Definitely cool.
Nah, I'm gonna work on it some more. So he goes and does more stuff to it, and that's when it started looking crazy. The verse was from Tech when he was in Atlanta hanging out with Griselda, and Plum,
Nice.
the singer, is on there. But
Big fan of Griselda. Let's go.
I'm a big fan. And that's why you hear him, Plum, talk to him.
Right.
Because she's on there, but
Nice.
he doesn't want to incorporate it. He's respectful. So we got it done. And, we went through the pawn shop. Shouts to the pawn shop. The pawn shop got a caveat, though. Whatever you don't sell gets burned.
Hmm.
And not to put the exact business things of it, but needless to say, I didn't want to lose any.
Right.
I didn't want to lose any. I didn't want to lose a single one. And, I'm on the phone and I'm probably stressing him out because all right, so check it out. Here's where we are. And I know that I can't be this guy and the artist guy. Those two people live on two different streets with me. So that's the reason why I don't mind doing the art. I would love to do the art, but I also want this to go well. So for that, I got to put my ego aside, and do the right thing for the project. And the right thing for the project was for me to be whipping the wheel, not painting the brush.
Pushing that marketing, telling the story.
Well, I think when it was all said and done, we did a really good job. We sold it out in 4 days, four or 5 days.
Awesome.
4 days. Because it was Monday, right? No, Tuesday.
4 days.
Yeah. 4 days. Yeah, we sold it out in 4 days. And we got it done. And Tech was really happy. And when it was done, I asked him, and I was like, now, you've been rapping for a long time. You've done a lot of stuff. You ever make money this easy? And he goes, hell no. So
that's what's up.
To be able to do something what I thought was very impactful for an artist whose album I stole and will continue to steal. Not pirate download, for the record. If I see it in your car or your house or whatever, like, right. I'm a liberator for the people. Yeah, I'm the people, by the way. I'm a liberator for me. So, but for an artist like that, it's such a good thing to be able to show these people that I got so much value from, that they are still appreciated, they are still necessary, that what they make is still valuable, and they are still valued. And a lot of times with hip hop, we throw people away. And
unfortunately,
it's not, well, it is. I mean, whether it's sad or glad, we do it, and we do it often. And there's people who I feel shouldn't be thrown away. And there's people I think should be, but that's because I'm mean. But there's people who I think shouldn't be thrown away. And I'm the biggest recipient of it. I'm an easy candidate for the litter box, man. It's, no one really ever heard of me. A lot of the music was mid, so I'm still figuring myself out. You can lose it, never miss it. You can't miss what you never had.
Right.
But this space gave me a second chance. And I think that the most basic act of reciprocation, the least that I can do, is to give that same gift to other artists who I feel would also appreciate it and do good for the space. And even with Tech, he's like, yeah, man, I mean, we're going to do another one, so it don't matter. Because I'm telling him, hey, man, we do it this way, and we're going to make less money. I'm still Kane Mayfield, so hey, man, we can do this way, the right way, make less money.
Right.
He says, this is what Tech says. He goes, yeah, son, but saying a cash grab, we in it for the community. And I said,
let's
go. The culture.
Let's go.
Fucking on.
That's right.
That's right. Smoky Law. You're correct, sir. I was very happy.
That's awesome. Yeah, so those are the inspiring stories we like to hear on Web3 Warriors. We're focused on the creator economy and really the creatives that are in here for the right reasons. To your earlier point, whether it's for the memes, whether it's for the culture, it's not just for going to the moon. It's not just for getting that bag, getting the next buck. I think, like you said, the bear market is kind of shaking out a lot of those kind of folks in the broad NFT space in general, in the blockchain space. I think I'd like to believe most of us who are still here, heads down, building, believing in the technology, convincing others to see the potential here in this space, are really focused on it for the right reasons and for the culture. Like you're saying, community has become kind of a buzzword that's losing some meaning, but it's still important, and that's what it's all about. So Kane, I want to get you a chance to speak to your own NFT as well. So yeah, that KekNWessun is next level. That was definitely a historic piece. Amazing. Porkchop.
Don't forget about the sub asset.
The sub asset on the KekNWessun.
That's another part of the gameplay. Yeah, you got to understand there's 77 of half the song. 18 or less people will actually have the full song that no one else in the world has.
Correct.
By freaking Tech. Like, that's...
Did those go out already, or is there... What's the story?
It's coming. I could have changed pictures, but I'm a sucker for a good story. So like there's an old very untrue wives' tale. Salesmen are hard to sell. It's not true. Salespeople are the easiest people to sell, especially if they're good.
Mm-hmm.
You can sell me anything. Just tell me a sexy story.
Right.
I'll buy anything. So the story of the sub, and I'll keep it vague, but the story of the sub asset as is currently too good for me to abandon. And I also like to be a man of my word. I like to honor my commitments. I like to know that my word has value, so that if I give it, people know they got something that's written in gold.
That's what's up.
I'm not, if I'm like promising I'm going to die to stop smoking or something, but like shit that I tell you, like other people, not me, a lot of me. I'll tell the truth to a stranger, but a lot of me. So the story of the sub currently is too good for me to change pitches, and I want it. I like things to be just so. I want things just so, because I'm stubborn, and I'm stubborn enough to keep knocking on the door until it opens. And I know it's going to be fine. Setbacks happen in this space. We're all used to it.
Right.
So I plan for things like this. And the good news is, I think it gives the card just enough time to cool down, and we're going to bring it back to life again with these subs and a subsequent auction of something pretty cool. And it's going to be pretty amazing. So I look forward to that.
And those sub assets go to the top 18 holders, or how do those get divvied? It's just random.
Top 18, which is France, nigga. No, very libertarian. Top 10.
10,
I'll tell you something else.
Okay, I thought Porkchop said 18.
even subless, right? That verse doesn't exist nowhere. You can't hear that anywhere. Go find it. Doesn't exist nowhere. Nowhere. That is a very special, unique song that you've only heard the first half of. At this point, less than 10 people have heard that record, the entirety. I've heard it. Porkchop's heard it. Tech heard it when he recorded it.
Right.
Plum heard it because she's on it, and maybe whoever else was in the studio when it was created.
No doubt.
That's special, man. You want to talk about something that's rare? There's your rarity.
That's it.
How about an unreleased record from a rapper that people still love? That I grew up listening to. So there's a beauty in that. And then, of course, releasing the other half of it, which is, I'll be honest, I'm a second verse guy. I've listened to the whole song many times. I'm a second verse guy.
Okay.
Second verse hits. The first verse is dope.
Nice.
Second verse hits though. But yeah, so that I'm happy to have helped with that project. So there'll be more stuff like that.
Cool.
It's for the memes and the culture, not one or the other.
That's it. The memes and the culture. That's what's up. Yeah.
Most.
I got respect for it, and to your point about Pepe's just everywhere, and on the blockchain, he's got a special place in the heart of the culture, that's for sure. So just to clarify, those sub assets, so it's going to be 10 of them, and how are they getting dropped? How does this happen on Counterparty?
I would want to be in the top 10 holders, personally.
All right. Cool. There you go. You heard it here. And we did play a little bit of a teaser underneath Porkchop when he was talking, so...
It's the top 10 holders get it airdropped to their wallet for the amount that they have in their wallet.
Nice.
So if you have more than one, you have two. If you have two, you're probably on the top 10 or close. There's 3. I don't know if we're going to be at the top 10. I think me and Tech are taken out of that screenshot. I'm not exactly sure after this came about.
No,
keep yourselves in there. That's how you get that money back, right? Then you'll be able to sell one of those if you really want. It'll be in high demand.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Well, they can't match what's in my wallet, or some people are going to be left out. I'm a hodler.
No doubt.
You can. There are currently 3 dispensers open.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm seeing one. There's an option to buy at 0.01 Bitcoin. All right. Everyone go check that out. Pepe.wtf. Search it up. KekNWessun, all one word. But
Word.
yeah, Kane, I want to get a chance to jump into your NFTs here before we wrap. I know we've passed the hour mark. Talking about handprints specifically, you had that one, and then there's also your most recent drop of Reaganomics. I was really interested in handprints. Obviously, it had that awesome social angle of, you know, trying to combat basically child trafficking and forced labor and all that crazy stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about the backstory on it? And then I was also really interested in the way that you made it cross-chain. Like, you really went through an interesting method of, you didn't just mint it here, mint it there. You actually tried to port it over, started on Bitcoin, and then kind of stretched it into Ethereum. So yeah, just tell us a little bit about handprints and what you did with this project here.
The first, and I know it's mine, but sometimes even I get confused. The first 8 songs on my album was the album. That was supposed to be the album. That's why Black Powder isn't called Black Powder, it's called Outro.
Okay.
Some people probably think it's weird that there's a song called Outro in the middle of my damn album. That's because that was the end. And then Nutmeg was supposed to be the bonus track, and that was the end of it. It was supposed to be an EP.
Right.
Return to Rap wasn't supposed to be an album. And right dab smack in the middle of track number 5 was Handprints, which I thought would be the single, but everyone else said Shoes. And we never got a chance to execute on a lot of this stuff, but you know, that's, or Cars Jewels, I mean, ended up being like the single, but Handprints was the apex of what I was about and what I am about. I mean, I make music with a social conscious underneath it, and it's not like white knighting or, you know, I'm not Captain Feel Goodery. I'm not like trying to be anyone's hero or nothing. It's stuff that I believe.
Virtue single, as the haters like to
Yeah,
say.
virtue single. That's the one I was looking for. But I'm a third world kid. You know, my family is from what they call the third world, which I never seen the first 2, but and there's social issues that I truly care about, and they're sprinkled all through the album, whether it's race, politics, you know, whatever. And child labor is a big one. So I never thought that song got its just due, but Kane Mayfield, the rapper, is a bit more polished than Kane Mayfield, the visual artist. Kane Mayfield, the visual artist, can't always get a job with Kane Mayfield, the rapper. I got records that I can't touch. They're mine, but I'm not good enough to do them yet. Reaganomics fell into that bucket as well. So when I finally found myself at a level where I said, I think I can do handprints, I knew what I wanted it to look like. I knew where I wanted it to go. It was almost a fake rare. And I'm not going to say the last minute, but I changed my mind and I said, nah, I'm not going to do it. And Skrilla said, you know, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. And he's like, okay. I mean, you submitted it, it's approved, but okay. And I gave my spot up to somebody else because I wanted to see if it could stand on its own. You know, people look over at Counterparty, and I don't think they give it its respect because you see the frogs and you see Bitcoin, what I call church art. It's like Bitcoin church, and it's like the Holy Church of Satoshi. It's very Bitcoin chapel.
Definitely.
Built a big B and enamored in gold, and it wraps around. It's the whole thing. It's very Bitcoin centric and Pepe centric. And handprints is neither. Handprints don't got nothing to do with Bitcoin. It has nothing to do with Pepe. It's just a fine piece of art by itself.
Right.
And at that point, I'd done one auction on Scarce City, blind auction, top 10 bidders win. And I think when it was all said and done, I had 11. Wow. And I was like, whew, you know, 11 bidders, which that made me very happy.
That's awesome.
That means only one person got outbid. So with handprints, I did 20. So I'm terrified. I don't think anyone's going to show up. And then the work was so put together and the cause was so noble, and we had a website and it was real. ETH people showed up for a Bitcoin drop. and came across the street
Yep.
to a Bitcoin party. And that made me happy. And then the Bitcoin people were, hey, what the fuck? Oh, these damn EP. I'm a bid on that. And we ended up with 47 bids.
Nice.
And I was really, really proud of that. Then for the vaulting and the moving from one chain to another, that's not me. Counterparty people been doing that. They've been doing that. Before I was making NFTs, they were vaulting them over. But the technology was used mostly for rare Pepes and for some specialty Bitcoin art. Because that's what's there. It spells of Genesis, things like that, legacy OG pieces.
Right.
So I said the tech's there. And again, I'm an ultimate end user. I didn't build anything. I saw the tech that was there. I said, so I could bring this from here to there? I'm game. Let's do it. So we brought it from Bitcoin over to ETH. And now I have a token that's wrapped in ETH, but it's a Bitcoin asset.
Right.
I brought a bunch of them over. The first drop, we sold it out. Brought some more, sold that out. And I think when it was all said and done, we sold about 30 of them. And
that's awesome.
That was a big deal. I mean, the floor was 0.25 or 0.2, and now it's 0.35.
Yeah.
And there's one left. I'm literally waiting for my friend to text me because I don't want to wait anymore. The shoes, the Decentraland shoes, the wearables,
right?
Those are getting airdropped probably this weekend.
No doubt.
Because I just don't want more.
To anybody who has a handprint across all the chains too, not just Ethereum.
Anyone who has it on ETH. Now, if you have it on Bitcoin, holla at me. Give me that ETH address because I can't send the ETH asset to a Bitcoin address.
Right.
But for anyone who wants one, and I'll make the announcement, at some point over there as well. I'm going to do about 100 of them, and it's going to be great. So I'm looking forward to that. But ultimately, the thing with handprints was it proved three things for me. One, music NFTs are viable. The concept of, oh man, music NFTs, we haven't really figured it out yet. Nah, you haven't figured out a way to make it coin. You ain't figured out a way to bring in suits and suit with it. Warner Music, who's now doing this OpenSea thing, has been trying on Tezos for going on a year, bricking. Bricking. You can't tell me what's bricking, otherwise you wouldn't be trying something else.
Right.
You're bricking.
Yeah.
It was flat. You ran face first into a closed drawer bridge, fell in the moat, and I applauded it. Funny for me.
Yep.
So music NFTs have value, and they don't need suits for validation.
No, they do better without the suits, it seems.
Damn straight. Two, Counterparty is not synonymous with frogs and Bitcoin church.
Right.
For people who say you can't sell anything in Counterparty unless it's a Pepe. I've heard that.
And you prove that wrong, I guess.
I point to that and say, look at that. Well, I mean,
That's
okay, well, besides that, and then mental gymnastics and the mind, to bend themselves around nonsense. It's not true. And the other thing is, for artists that don't see the value in this space, who maybe aren't 100% confident. That song came out in 2015. No one's supposed to care.
Right.
From an artist who officially kind of stopped in 2015, 16. No one's supposed to care about me either.
Hey, but you connected it to a social cause. You connected it to some cool GAN art, and you yourself as a person in Web3, as a, I won't use the word influencer because we all hate that, but as a person of note who's really taking the time out of your day to push this space forward and to actually advocate for the right side of this blockchain wave, I think that you're in an interesting time and place now where, to your point, you can take stuff that maybe was gathering some dust on the shelf and be like, hey, this is my creativity, mix it up with some new Web3 angles and show it to the world. And now everyone's looking at Kane Mayfield, the NFT creator, the Web3 evangelist, the maker of Handprints and Reaganomics, and more to come, I'm sure.
And that's why Reaganomics, a lot of stuff with me is proving things to myself, and a lot of it's just for me, just my own personal challenges. So with Handprints, Did they buy it because of the art or the music, or did they buy it for the charity?
Right.
Was I the Santa with the goodwill bell, ring a ring ring,
Hmm.
or was I an artist making art that they thought was dope? You know the answer to that question?
Both.
I don't know either. So you know what that means? Now it's time for Reaganomics.
That's it.
No charity. No, it's just art. Just fire art. There it is. You like it, that's what's up. You don't, that's cool. I talked 3 people out of buying it.
Sheesh.
Just because I won't FOMO, I won't super shill my work in a dirty way. And most importantly, I'm not gonna lead people down a rabbit hole that I'm not comfortable with. The art itself, just because I'm gonna do something difficult, don't mean I gotta get in the survival mode and be desperate Dan. My artwork is my artwork, and I love what I make, but I need the people who collect it to love it.
Yeah, and to the point you just said, you're not trying to be a charity case, right?
And I'm not. This ain't shaking a cup, man.
Exactly.
You see the work, it's gonna be what it is. I tell you right now, the merch will be lightning. I've already seen today some of this lightning.
And so
lightning.
You sold out of these baddies already, right? So what is are you doing a similar thing with cross-chain, bringing them over to Ethereum for other folks too still?
I could bring them to ETH right now. The difference I had between Handprints and Reaganomics is I had time. With Handprints, no one knew what was coming. No one had an idea. But I had a dream, I had a vision, and I had time because no one was pressing me for anything. I'm just in Clubhouse and running around space, and I did Diamond Hearts, and that's the last thing they know of me.
Right.
So I went into a bat cave for 2 weeks, so my eyes were bleeding, moving pixels, shading, Microsoft Paint, shade, trying to get it just so. And when I was finished, I said, okay, cool. Then I made a pitch deck. Then I ran around the space for a couple of weeks. Then I did all I laid the stage for it. I had time. Reaganomics ain't have no time. It wouldn't come out. Porkchop called me in the midst of me making it. And he hears the tutorials from Prophet of Singularity that I'm listening to. And he's like, what the hell are you listening to? I'm like, I got to get right. And I finally finished it. It was due on Friday. I finished it Thursday at 2 p.m. Yeah. And I've been up for 3 days.
That was a self-imposed due date?
No, that was the day it had to go out. It went out Friday.
Right.
So when I finished it and I turned it in and it went out, and I was like, geez, I think I got something. So,
no doubt.
You know, I had to finish it. It was a little bit more behind the 8 ball. So to answer your question, I sold the first 27.
Wow.
On Bitcoin. And that was in 3 days. And that's the Spencer's close, and I still did a couple OTCs. I can put them on ETH right now. I only have 81. I have 50 left. I can put them all on ETH right now, today, right now, and start moving them like red tops. I can do it.
Let's go.
But I'm not gonna. And the reason I'm not gonna is because, kind of like for the KekNWessun, artist me lives over here. He's impatient. He's unsure of himself. He lacks confidence. He doesn't believe because he's an artist. I'm riddled with doubt and insecurities. Project manager, project lead, Kane Mayfield, isn't in a rush. He's patient. And it's better to move slowly and gather 3 geese than it is to dive in the bush and maybe get 1. What are we so hungry for? You just ate. What's wrong with you? So in lieu of me, I have to rely on my friends. And what my friends tell me is, this is my best work.
Beautiful.
So doesn't my best work deserve it? A proper rollout? unrushed, unbothered, focused, thoughtful, thought-provoking. And I'm going to take the next week. I'm moving tomorrow, and there's pieces moving all along. I'm going to do some California video. We're going to shoot some stuff. We're going to talk. It's going to be real.
Nice.
And giving people the most that I can is my goal. Not the most artwork, because obviously that's done, but framing it for the proper conversation. Not trying to be provocative. I'm not trying to be, hey, look at me.
Yeah, a little bit of provocative is okay, you know, if it's for a good reason.
Well, I think the provocation is going to come regardless, but how you deliver that news is important. So it's not a, hey, look at me. It's a, excuse me, can we talk about this?
I got you.
That's different to me.
For sure, for sure. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing how you roll that out, man. It's really cool, and it's really inspiring the way you take your craft so seriously. And yeah, this Reaganomics joint is awesome. We're gonna ride out on it right away. I know we've passed the 90-minute mark here. Appreciate it. Respect all your time. Really good content. I hope that anybody who's like me and has a lot to learn about Bitcoin NFTs have been able to grasp this whole connection here, you know, with Counterparty, with the free wallet, you know, and with the fact that XCP is really given, you know, Bitcoin, you can call them maxis or Bitcoin supporters, an option, you know, for crypto art. And they predate the NFT buzz. They predate OpenSea. They predate it all. And when you see, you know, the Pepes around, understand that it's for the culture and that it has so much history and that it's really, like you said, been tracking everything happening within the culture, not just in America, but really internationally. And it's really interesting to see, you know, whether it's got its roots in 4chan or Reddit or what was that other one, Poloniex, you know, these underground communities. Right. So it's just, it's really something. And I think you've shared a lot of knowledge here about the culture and where we've come from and where we're going, I think, especially looking at the Bitcoin space, but even more broadly as an NFT community, as a crypto community, blockchain, crypto art, all that fun stuff. It's really amazing. So as we wind down, yeah, what's up, Porkchop?
Visual representation, right? It's an artistic visual. I'll leave it there.
An artistic visual representation
of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. That's it. Pepe ain't going anywhere. So the last question, starting with you, Porkchop, what do you say to those who are looking at blockchain and unfortunately listening to the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt? I know, you know, we're not out here trying to bang the drum and convince everybody what they have to do, but if you were to kind of frame, you know, why you're involved with crypto art, you know, how would you kind of tell other people to get involved and why they should get involved?
If it feels good, do it. It feels good, man. I enjoy it. I like it. It makes me happy. It gives me some completion, some direction, motivation to create happy.
No doubt.
So it's that's what it's really all about.
I respect that. And I think you had mentioned the timestamp as well. And I like that you hit on that, right? The fact that, you know, something significant happens and you think, hey, I should put this on the blockchain right now while it's relevant. And now when I look back a year from now, 3 years from now, you'll be able to say, hey, that was that month, you know, January 2022, when I made these crazy, I don't even remember what it was called. Those chickens, yeah.
Yeah.
So why do you think that timestamp angle is important? You know, I've been seeing it that way as well, but I don't think many creators in the NFT space really think about it from a posterity standpoint, you know?
Yeah, I think everybody might look at it differently, but I see it as, you know, that's your relevance. That's what it's about. That's your foundation. That said piece. Yeah. So it's very important that timestamp it matches your artwork. Otherwise, I feel like it's half attempted. You know, it's just say, oh, I created a piece of art in Bitcoin. There it is. That's kind of, well, why did you mint the token in the first? So that timestamp's important.
No doubt. Timestamp is important for sure. I think your mic's cutting a little bit there. We're checking out the Reaganomics dispensers, making moves on that.
Nobody's, I know, and again, I'm just saying, nobody, fam, the song is from 2009. Nobody's supposed to pay.
It's a different time and
I know
place.
I should be over it. I'm not. I'm never over it.
No way.
Same question, right?
Yeah.
Same question. What does it mean? It means every day I get to do this If it ended right now, phone rings, magic telephone, brum, brum, brum. Hey, Kane Mayfield, this is you from the future. It's a wrap after today. Word? Yeah, it was worth it. All of it, every day of it was worth it.
No doubt.
Every day I did this was a miracle.
That's beautiful.
I got to live a dream that feels fake, and not in the fake rare way. It feels false. It feels like that's why I help people. I don't help people because I'm nice. Y'all niggas have heard me talk. I am not nice. Because I feel like I'm guilty. I don't deserve any of this. I didn't do anything. I don't know why this is happening. I didn't do anything.
Well, I think that's a sentiment that's shared in many corners of the blockchain and corners of the NFT space. It's hard to believe that this is real life sometimes. But you got it, Kane, and it's happening for a reason. You know, you got amazing talent, you know, whether you call it a struggle rapper from before, but you're coming into this space, you're creating new things by taking something that you had built before and adding to it and having a whole new kind of angle on it, really, right? Not to mention now you've got this new network, you're making a name for yourself in this space, and importantly so, countering a lot of the FUD, a lot of the people wanting to go to the moon, and like you say, all the silly PFP projects out there that are just promising, you know, you to 10x, 20x your investment and all that crazy stuff. That's not why we're here. You know, we're here for the technology. We're here for the immutability. We're here for the culture and the fact that all of these things that we're building are not going anywhere ever, right? We're building it for the future generations. We're building it for what's possible that we don't even know, right? That we're just dreaming up into existence. So it's exciting times for sure. And I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Last night I had the Alcatraz swim team on, and obviously Viva is a little under the weather, so Skrilla filled in for him. And during that conversation, he said, money ain't really the culture, and it's not.
Exactly.
But we have the option of making ourselves a living. And if I could live not on the moon, because I'm not an astrophysicist, I wouldn't even know how to get down from there. So if I live in Cleveland or Cincinnati, and I was a doctor, not a specialist, not a brain surgeon, not a, you know, no one fancy, just a regular general practitioner. And I lived like a general practitioner in a mid-level city, getting to be in my jams with a hat backwards, making silly pictures to go with my fun raps, or silly raps to go with my fun pictures.
No doubt.
Isn't that cool?
Hella cool.
That ain't the moon, bro. That's Cleveland. I'm all right with that.
That's it. You can pay the rent, you can pay bills, you can live a life, you know? Don't need the moon. Just need the culture.
No Balenciaga, but I wear camo pants anyway. I'm good.
Yeah. I just saw Kanye got cut by Balenciaga. Random side news.
That figures.
Yeah. No doubt. Anyways, it's really amazing, everybody. This is, I think we've touched on a lot. I think there's probably still some technical details around the dispenser and the way that, you know, the Bitcoin transactions work that I could probably still do a little more research into.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy, bro.
I think I just overthink it in my head.
No, you're not. It's confusing looking, but it's not confusing. It's still meatball surgery.
Got you.
This tech, this blockchain, this platform, and this side of town, there shouldn't be a video that can describe it all for you. Because the best way to learn it is from the people that live there. Okay. Come to the Telegram chats and make friends. Everything you need will be explained to you, and then you have help. And then it doesn't feel like you're on your own in an ocean trying to figure things out. The nicest people I've met are there, and they're all very patient, and they're very giving of their time.
That's amazing.
And that's the real space.
Yeah, and you know, if you said, I want to see where I want to get a KekNWessun, all right? Let me see if there's dispensers. You open your free wallet, go to dispensers, go to that little cog and add dispenser watch list. And then in that little text field, you just put KekNWessun, say go, and pop up.
Oh, your mic cutting out.
Thing. Okay.
Yeah, your chest, you got to tap chest mic. Chest mic right now.
All right.
Yeah, it's an interference.
You good though? Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel what you're saying as far as the dispensers and using the free wallet, navigating on there for sure.
Yeah. Freewallet.io.
There you go.
.org.
Get your free wallet. Check out xchain.io as well to see the counterparty. You can go to pepe.wtf to see all the crazy fake rares and these ridiculous Pepes that are tracking the culture all across the blockchain. Any topic you can imagine, they got a Pepe for it out here. So definitely recommend people check that out. Thank you again so much, Porkchop and Kane Mayfield. It's been an amazing conversation. Do either of you have any final thoughts before we throw to the Reaganomics track and fade out?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, we're
Play
good.
it. Turn it up.
Appreciate y'all. All right,
Loyalty over royalty.
that's it. Okay, we're going to get the Reaganomics track and then we'll fade out. We'll be back next Saturday with Web3 Warriors as always, 12 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate y'all. Let's get this track going.
Reagan era. They're running a strange program, y'all. I mean, more poor and disenfranchised folks than this place has ever seen. And see, they try to front this shit off like it don't exist. Meanwhile, the rich get richer and poor don't get a fucking thing.
Dig it.
When you live by your instincts, the jungle seems fair. You spend your life trapped in these project hallways where people don't care. Cause everybody broke, rich people don't have our problems. They won't know unless we rob. Reaganomics got me pulling on my bootstraps. Swear to God I'll stop robbing when my loot's stacked.
Once upon a time, in a land called Jersey, there lived these two kids who was thirsty. One was named Slim, he was worse than broke. Stayed with a jacked up fade, his homeboy Jim, who would slap your boy. They were straight savages, too poor for pistols, so they ran with shit. Losers boosting juices in the planting chips. Banned from every bodega, hunger make a man grow desperate. Start plotting on popping them a Lexus. We gon' get paper. The vapors in his nostrils, Slim granddad a copy, saw his Glock once. He be dozing off, dog, we can get it. I dare reefer in it, slide there. If we can get this ride, fam, we be reppin'. Went and snatched the burn out the closet all night, looking for a target. Up in Central Park, it's dark in the winter. White lady, keys jingling, Slim pulled the heat, trembling, squeezed in the
When
seat.
you live by your instincts, the jungle seems fair. You spend your life trapped in these project hallways where people don't care. Cause everybody broke, rich people don't have our problems. They won't know unless we rob. Reaganomics got me pulling on my bootstraps. Swear to God I'll stop robbing when my loot's stacked.
We're still in the slums, but this time Jamaica, little naughty head boy named Jacob. He would watch the planes in the sky of the people going foreign. Icebox bear, so he nyam pun orange, teething out the market. Running from authorities, bumped into this man, said, pardon me. Father me no want be a gangster shotter. But if men don't teeth, I die, we have nothing to eat. And for you to come walking through my hellhole, tick money, fat belly, talking by a cell phone, disgust me. Where you from? Kansas? Never heard of that. Your camera ain't deserving of your ownership. I work with that. A pittance to you could feed I and I for 3 months. Little trinkets mean much in the ghetto. We just pray, Jah deliver me from poverty and forgive me roughly for your property. This my last
When
robbery.
you live by your instincts, the jungle seems fair. You spend your life trapped in these project hallways where people don't care. Cause everybody broke, rich people don't have our problems. They won't know unless we rob. Reaganomics got me pulling on my bootstraps. Swear to God I'll stop robbing when my loot's stacked.
In downtown Manhattan, where stocks get trade off, there lived this old man named Madoff. Stock market king came from Queens. For Rockaway, his top was gray, $1 million smile with a dream. He ran a hedge fund for rich people. He even wrote the rule book, was cool, but he had a little secret. He would just keep it. and send your fake statements like your stock's up and you ain't really make shit, cause you ain't really paid attention to the basics, y'all. Thanking Uncle Bernie for the free lunch you paid him for. Ran the SEC, sat as chairman of the board. A cop and a crook committing fraud. Then his sons turned him in and he said that he's sorry, cause he was just a poor kid eating all the pork y'all discard. Did from your fridge, cook the books and rape the salaries of millionaires, Bilderbergs and charities. All hail his majesty.
When you live by your instincts, the jungle seems fair. You spend your life trapped in these project hallways where people don't care. Cause everybody broke, rich people don't have our problems. They won't know unless we rob. Reaganomics got me pulling on my bootstraps. Swear to God I'll stop robbing when my loot stacked.
Ponzi scheme, the SEC.
Using Bernard Madoff busted after investigators say he conned investors.
That's Reaganomics.
With a capital B dollar.
Kane Mayfield. Thank you, Kane. Thank you, Porkchop. It's been an amazing episode. Appreciate y'all. You can find that track at xchain.io/asset/Reaganomics. Check it out for yourself. It's a really cool video. Amazing piece of art. Amazing bars. Appreciate everybody for dropping in with us. We'll be live next time on Saturday. Till next time, catch you in the metaverse. Peace out.